Good morning, friends. Diana here from Garden Love. Today I want to make a quick video about nopales, cactus. They come in different shapes. Here, let me see if I can show you guys. Different shapes and different varieties. And the reason why this topic came up is because I've been obsessed with how well the nopales are growing. And there's, as you guys know, I put wood chips to retain some moisture. But when it comes to nopales, the cactus, you guys have to be careful about having wood chips around it. Normally it's okay because we live in the desert and there's not a lot of rain and there really isn't much moisture inside the soil. But rarely enough, it rained like 2 days ago. So these wood chips hold a lot. Here, let me flip you guys over. These wood chips hold a retention. As you guys can see, I just moved the wood chips out of the way. And as you guys can see, the cactus is getting signs of rot right here. So what I need to do here is move the wood chips all away from the nopal, the cactus, because otherwise it's going to rot out and basically die. So I just put this nopal a few weeks ago. And I waited to put it in here until it became warmer because exactly this reason. I didn't want to get rot on the nopal. There is no drip system here. There's nothing near it at the current moment. Here, there was one there. So I'm going to move it out of the way because it does not need any water right now. I'm going to put it over here closer to my other tree and let it sit there. And I want to make sure that this soil around the nopal, the cactus, dries out. That way it doesn't get any rot. As you can see here, look, there's a lot of moisture in the soil. So I'm going to dig it up a little bit so it can air dry. There's already some roots that are growing from the nopal, so I'm not going to damage that because I do want it to get established. Look at that. See that root? Right there. Okay. So I'm just going to be very careful. I'm going to move all the wood chips out of the way so it can air dry. And hopefully we can still save this nopal. This was gifted to me. I was told that this nopal gives the best nopalitos, which is the ones that you actually eat. Some of these cactuses give you prickly pear, which is a tuna in Spanish, and those mainly are grown to give you the prickly pear. This one was going to be to give me the nopalitos, the little pads that you can eat and enjoy them in many different recipes. So with that being said, I'm hoping to save this. I wanted to point this out because I did post a picture on my Instagram about my different nopales that are growing and how well they're doing. Look at that root. You guys see that? So it's getting established, that's for sure. Let me move some more of the soil here. Because there's a lot of moisture, there's a lot of roots, so I'm gonna have to be very careful. Okay, hopefully it air dries and it warms up enough for it to heal. And I want to show you guys a few different nopales that I found over the last few months. These I actually took from my Perkikypear. I took a little pad and I wanted to propagate it, and since it rained, like I mentioned, I need to make sure that I remove some of this wood chip for now. Once it starts heating up, I'm gonna put the wood chips back on because I do not want them to dry out, especially during the first year that I'm propagating them, because they don't have that many roots. But look at this. See those prickly pears already coming there? This is not a nopalito. This is a prickly pear cutting that I took from my cactus garden, and it is doing pretty well. This didn't seem to get any damage from rotting, so that's a really good sign. And you can see right here how they're growing some more right there. So there is a roly-poly. Lily's been asking me about roly-polies. So I just kind of stuck them anywhere I wanted them to grow, just open space where I needed it to be a little bit green. And I'm gonna show you one that I've had for a while. Actually, the very first one. Pretty sad about this. Hopefully it does well. I'm gonna show you guys one that had, you guys remember the nopales I put in a container, and I've had them forever. And this last year something broke off a few of them and I decided to get them off. Actually, let me point them out. Do you guys see that container over there? Let me get you guys a little closer. See that container? It was one of my first videos, how you can grow nopales in a container. They're still growing. Few of them fell off of it, so I decided to take those as cuttings and propagate them, and I put a few of those cuttings over here. Let me show you guys. Right here, as you can see, this nopal is doing amazing. I absolutely love it. These will not be prickly pears. These will be nopalitos, and eventually when they get a little bit bigger, I'm going to cut them off and enjoy them in a salad or in a wonderful recipe. Since it rained, I'm going to also make sure that this is not holding too much moisture, which it doesn't look like it. Let me see. I just want to make sure that the wood chips are away from the nopal, because I don't want it to get raw. And look at how beautiful these little pads are. Aren't they wonderful? So I've been a little obsessed with nopales because I love the way they taste, and I want to have different varieties, and I want to see which one is the one I love the most. So I took different cuttings. This is still the same from that. I just took a cutting and stuck it in here again. So I'm gonna have a few sticking out. I'm not gonna let them get that big. I'm gonna be harvesting the little pads as they grow. Maybe let them get like 3 or 4 so they can have a good base, and then eventually start cutting them and eating them. I also got this from another nursery. She told me that nopalitos are really good. Like I said, I want to collect different nopales and see which one is the one I like the most. This one, I'm going to plant it somewhere, but because it has such a wonderful shape to it, I haven't decided where. I can tell by the size of these nopales that they're going to get pretty big, and I want to say, even though she told me these are the nopalitos, I want to say these are more like prickly pears, because usually they have bigger pads, such as this one. Look at how big that is. So we will see when they start growing little babies. Right now, I mean, it got rainwater, but I do feel like it needs to get planted so that way it can start to thrive. I mean, look at this. This is a little one. I just planted this year. I planted this one last year. It took a year to get established. As you can see, it has so many nopalitos. Those are going to be ready to harvest here pretty soon. I might let, it has like Mickey Mouse ears. I might let a few so it could get a little bit bigger, and I'm not going to let it get any bigger than this. Anything after that, I'm going to continue to harvest to eat or propagate, and just depending on how delicious those taste, I'm going to put them all along this hillside to fill on the little empty holes of no green. That way this hillside can be productive and beautiful. You guys know I love that. I like to create something useful and beautiful, and that is the whole goal for this hillside. I'm done with this part of it, and I'm gonna just fill in the holes in between with some nopalitos. I have that one. We will see. I haven't seen any sign of growth on this one, so it could be because it's been sitting in a pot, or it could be because it's a different variety and it takes a little longer. I'm noticing some of this discoloration that you get from root rot, or from the rotting of the nopal, maybe because we had so much water. We had tremendous amount of water. I was pretty surprised that we had that much water when we did. I'm gonna walk over here to show you guys the nopalitos that I propagated, that I've originally had. I've had them for several years. They've been growing in this container. I did that video a long time ago. I'll link it right above. Look at these. It's laying on its side, and you have these little nopalitos. These do look like they're going to be the ones that you eat, but as you can see, the mother is, you know, rotting out. So I'm going to take, when these get a little bigger, I'm going to take them out and repopulate them, propagate them, and put them in another container on the hillside. So these do look like they're the type to eat, and I'm going to show you guys my cactus garden. So how ginormous the prickly pear cactus grows. So, you know, if you guys are thinking about getting nopales, cactus, prickly pears, or nopalitos to eat, you guys can get an idea of how they grow. and you guys can decide whether you guys want to get nopalitos, which is the ones that you eat, or you guys want to get prickly pears, which is the fruit that you get. This beautiful flower comes out of it, and then the fruit starts growing, and it's amazing. I love both. So I was fortunate enough that when we got this property, this cactus garden was here. Let me show you guys. Isn't it amazing? Beautiful cactus garden. And as you guys can see, I'm gonna walk over there so you guys can see the cactus that grows the prickly pear. They are different than, this is just like a wild nopal. I don't think you can eat those. You might be able to when they're like babies, but those have been there for a long time. They grow a lot slower than the other ones. You can see some babies coming up. I'm not sure what kind of variety this is and what it's meant for, but these for sure I know that it's the prickly pear, because we even have some prickly pears left over from last year. But look at this. See, this doesn't look like it's meant to eat, because you can see, let me show you guys. You see these thorns, how big they are for such a small nopal little pad. Look. These are ginormous too. That's also a sign that these are more for prickly pears versus nopalitos to eat. And you can tell that this has been here for a long time. And yeah, look at that. One fell and one grew out of it. So as you guys can see, this is quite a stunning show of nopales, of cactus. I love that a lot of them tend to grow like a heart. I really love that. So just wanted to show you guys the different varieties, how they grow, the size, what to expect if you guys buy some of these and put them in your garden. Make sure that when you guys buy them that you guys ask what kind of nopal is it. Is it one that will grow prickly pears like that, or one that will grow, look at this heart. I posted this picture on my Instagram and I loved it. Or ones that will grow a nopal to eat, the nopalitos to eat.